Let's do a quick tap on the mic, make sure it's all working. Just have a look. Where are we? YouTube. Okay. Yeah, seems to be good. Let's try LinkedIn. Welcome, it's Thursday, 4 o'clock. Another crazy week of business news, both inside and outside of Moblox. I have to hasten to add. Looks like it's all working. Good, excellent. So I don't know where to start really. Usual stuff. Welcome to Moblox and Piers and the founder CEO of Moblox. It's been an exciting week for us as well. My headphones are tangled up here. We've got some people come in. LinkedIn news. Hello everyone. So this is a small business live, clearly Q&A session. So there's a clue in the title. I need questions so I can provide you with answers, hopefully. So please feel free. Don't be shy. Let us know if you've got any questions for me about anything to do with starting a business, running a small business, growing a business, and it can be anything at all. And I will do my best to share my experience. If I don't know the answer, I'll probably come back to you when I've spoken to someone else who does. Welcome, Laura Kelly. Got Titania Kozova. Hello, welcome. So interesting week in the news. So if you're in the UK, although it doesn't really seem to matter where you are. Inflation's over 10% in most developed economies, a bit more than that in many, which is, it makes life very, very difficult in terms of planning. Now, in the UK, I was saw our new Chancellor on the news yesterday, and he said to me, and I've been banging on about this for months, actually, not even weeks, months, that small businesses, and I'm going to say it again, they're the ones that are hurt the hardest by this the economic crisis and the cost of living crisis we find ourselves in, and that's because cost of living is going up. Your whatever you want to buy, and we saw in the UK, it's been pushed up by food prices. Essentially, the last push to get us over 10%. But now, if you've got a job, you can hopefully, depending who's fighting your corner, it might be you, it might be a union, you might get some kind of index linked pay rise. So these things are moving up. If you're running a business, depending on what you're doing, you're probably finding that your cost of doing business are also going up. So your input cost, your people, employees, raw materials, whatever it might be, energy clearly is a big part of that. So and if you're not putting your prices up by a similar amount to account for those cost increases, your margin's being squeezed. And that, in a small business, your margin is your income, it's your dividend, it's what you pay yourself with, it's where you put food on the table, essentially. And that's being squeezed as the cost of living is going up. So it's a pincer movement. You're being squeezed in the middle more than anyone else has got a job. And the Chancellor said, he's beginning to think about how this crisis is affecting small businesses and what can be done about it. Now, I'll applaud him for noticing that and hopefully doing something about it. But this has been a cruise lining heading for an iceberg for several months. So that's good news that they're thinking about that. What they're going to do remains to be seen. So if you've got any ideas, please feel free to share them. Welcome, Laura Kelly, Maria Batala, Atita Kumar. I'm not doing this on Instagram today because it's just a pain. It's a distraction. It refuses to integrate with these platforms. So when it does, we'll probably add the feed there. So I'm going to keep this to YouTube and LinkedIn. Now, usual things, a bit of housekeeping. So Moblox. We're building the tech and tools platform for small businesses. So we want you to understand your technology options and your business tool options, make better purchasing decisions. We're going to help you do that through content, advice, guidance, and things like this. And then when you make those decisions, hopefully you're going to buy them from Moblox because we built the best, or through Moblox because we help you source the best. And that's our business model, really, in a nutshell. So please do follow us. The first thing to do is to join the Moblox community. Go to moblox.com, sign up. You currently get access to all of our content, special offers. You can enter competitions. You can join our community. So actually, and I'll come back to that in a moment in terms of the questions for these lives. Join the community, and eventually we're going to make these things more sort of walled off for members. At the moment, it's open to anybody. I've got some exciting news as well that I'll come back to in a moment. So please do join Moblox. Get access to my free course as well. It's not actually free; it's 200 quid. But if you join, you will get a link which gives you free access to that £200 course, and that's anything. It's called Startup with Piers Linney. I shouldn't have called it that actually. I should have changed it, but I can't now. It's all embedded in the video. But essentially, it's for anyone starting a business, obviously, but anyone really, I'd say, in the first couple of years of running a business, or somebody's been running a small business for some time, and just there's just holes in your knowledge. And there's 76 lessons there, videos, me talking to you like this, 10.5 hours, which just to give you some pointers, some advice, some guidance of what to think about, and maybe then go and do even more research. That's what the course is about. You get free access to that. You can still enter Pitch to Peers. We'll be bringing this to a close pretty soon. I wanted it to coincide with other news I'll come back to in a moment. So this is where you can win £10,000 for your small business. That's a lot of money, and there's no strings attached. So we're going to choose 5 finalists. They're going to pitch to me. And when I say a pitch, I mean, it's not Dragon's Den. This is about you just telling me about your business, your aspirations, what you want to do, what you want to do with the money. And we'll make a decision. Someone's going to get 10 grand. And I think that's a fantastic time in anyone's small business to get their hands on 10 grand. And follow us on social media. So you've got Moblox UK, LinkedIn especially. We've got quite a following there now, over 1,000. Even Instagram's over 500. Need a bit of help on Twitter, to be quite frank. But I think we're going to see most people on LinkedIn and places like Instagram, Facebook as well. So please do follow us. Now let's just give you a few pointers at our at our website. So team's been busy as usual, and we've got some great new articles. One I sort of pushed out earlier actually, which is you can see it here. So this is our website. So we've got Moblox here, we've got content, we've got community, and we'll come back to mobile in a moment, about us. And this really is, if you look at the content area, this is all about small businesses. It's all about technologies, business tools, sales, finance, legal, tech, news, well-being and people, and marketing. So anything you need to know about any of those things that they relate to a small business, you will be able to find the content here on the Moblox website. So, for example, a great article that was written for us by Heidrun Lut, I think that's how you pronounce her name, the over personalization versus smart marketing, which is an issue, how to run smart marketing campaigns. And she's the CMO, the Chief Marketing Officer at Pipedrive. Now, in the age of all the technology we have and all the information that's, flying around about us, what we do, who we like, what we like, you can really personalize campaigns. Now, if you don't get that quite right, though, that can be quite annoying. So yes, you can be personal, and yes, that does matter, does make a difference. But also you got to make sure you get that balance right. And this article is about that. So it's worth to read. The first step, know your customer, know information about them. Plan offers that map back to interactions, the seasonality, and actually make common sense. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And be sensitive. Some campaigns are not sensitive. There's some campaigns that they're being personal about personal things, and that's just going to turn people off. And that's what smart marketing is all about. So there's lots of content on the website. Let's just pick another random one. Let's have a look at legal. As an ex-lawyer, can't help myself. There you go. It's a good one. This is written by David Walton. He's an expert employment lawyer. So if you're building a business, you think about bringing people on board, employment HR law is going to be a big part of it. And these are the top 5 most common legal mistakes made by small businesses. So that's another great article as well. Let's see who's joining us. So we've got Adele Houghton, Alexandra Slack, Abdul Hashi, Adam Kilshaw. Hello, Adam. Adam's from my actually he's moved now. Actually moved from my old hometown to one I used to live near, which is up near on the sort of what's it called, the Fylde Peninsula, is that we call it, near Blackpool around there, and St Anne's, and lived in St Anne's around there. Laura Kelly as well. Joseph K. Well, I'm going to do this question first, actually, while we're looking at it. What are the benefits of joining? So initially, you're getting access to the content. Now, right now, you can actually get access to content without joining, but that's not going to be the case for very long. You'll be able to get a few articles, but to really see the articles, most of them you're going to have to register. You get access to competitions offers as well on our services. But Moblox, we've been quite stealth, and this brings me neatly into some news. So we've been pretty stealth about what we're building. So we're building a platform which is tech and tools for small businesses. Now, one of the things that we have quietly launched, and you're hearing it here first, because I want people to sort of have a look at this and give us some feedback and test it. Still some work to do on a few bugs and things, but you've got to get these things launched, get them out there, get them into the wild, and get some feedback. But this is here. So when you ask about what do you get, if you join now, access to our content, access to our community. You get my course for free. That's saving you 200 quid if you think it's worthwhile. And you just get fantastic feedback. But we are now, after a year of talking about it, we are now starting finally to start to launch some key services. And these are key services for small business. And one of the key services is mobile. You may have seen us use this strapline. This homepage is going to be updated quite soon with our sort of more targeted campaign messages. The big network for small businesses. So, we were talking about a big social network, a big community for small business. That's what we're trying to build. But we're also we have built a network. So if you're in business, everyone's got one of these. Everyone needs a phone. We've all got one. It's a device in which we tend to run our lives these days. And I spent a lot of time, quite a few years, working or owning businesses, more often working. I was working at them as well in the small business services channel and working with telcos especially. And essentially, I was gobsmacked. So if you think about the banks, what the banks are like, what they used to be like, and what the neo banks have done, your Tide, your Revolut, your Starlings, your Monzos, what have they done to that sector? Well, that needs to happen to the small businesses sector because it sucks. And basically, small businesses are being missold, sold things they don't want, they're being ripped off. And we have built a mobile phone network, and this is the first UK B2B small business focused mobile phone network. And this is built on the how do I put this? The number one UK network in terms of the platform. We haven't been building masts around the UK, and that's been done for us. So we're on the number one network in terms of speed and also coverage. We work out which one it is. The police and the blue light services use it as well to give you an idea. So we're on the number one network, and we're making it better. We're making it cheaper. We're making it simpler. We're making it more flexible. So you can actually get a better service. You can actually contact people and talk to them for support. We built an app that actually designed for small businesses. Right now it's single account. Soon you're going to be able to have multi-account, have your employees on there, control all your costs, have your family on there, have them on different cards. So we built a unique, a brand new service designed for small businesses. We are not flogging you mobile service, which is a business service. You get a VAT invoice and you get charged more money. We're not locking you into 12 24 month contracts. They're monthly contracts. We're not tying this to phones. We will be doing phones quite soon as well. We're not tying this to your phone. They're always going to be separate contracts. So it's very much flexible. Our app is designed for you, the data you can see, what your usage is, what people are doing. We are super cheap and international, down to like 2p a minute. So if you've got international suppliers, customers, or family, you can call them without any fear of what that's going to cost you, essentially. India, North America, Bangladesh, I think is 3p a minute. So super cheap international calls. We're not charging for roaming in the UK. And this is what we've built. And this has been super complicated. And we're very proud of what we've come up with. And we're going to be launching this. So it's quite quiet now. You're kind of hearing it here first, to be honest with you. So if you go to Moblox, the website here, you can see our landing page here. So it's got a little bit about it. We're going to be filling out some of these things here. You can see our plans here. If you buy our plans up front, you're getting 25% off. So they become very, very competitive in terms of the price of our plans. You get 3 months free. You can see there if you buy our plans. So these are the plans here: 1 gig, 5 gig, 10 gig, 15 gig. So the point is that the average UK SME, and I've got these numbers. They are literally. I'm logged in actually. I need to just log out so I get a slightly different experience. Here we go. Log out. There we go. So the average SME uses 6 gig of data, right? So when someone's selling you an unlimited plan, what are they selling you? They're saying to you, right, I'm going to give you 200 gig. Who cares? You're only using 3, 4, 5, 10 tops. I only use 10. I'm a heavy user. So you only ever need like 10, 5, 10, 15 gig of data. Everything else is just marginally being ripped off. And the worry is you always tip over and you get charged more if you go abroad or something. We don't fleece you for that. So the idea here is that we save you hundreds and hundreds of pounds a year on your basic telephony. We're going to be adding things like call handling for fixed line, being able to divert calls, have hunt groups, IVRs, please press one for sales. This make your business look professional. But again, it's going to be designed for small businesses, broadband, cybersecurity, running an IT help desk for you, HR support, employment support, legal guidance, lawyers, accountancy support, wealth management, you name it. We're going to have it on a Moblox platform for you. But we're starting with mobile. So if you're if you're out of contract, you're on a SIM only deal, especially, have a look at Moblox. Go to moblox.com, click on mobile, and move to Moblox. Right, I'll shut up about that now. Okay. So, Natasha Poole. Natasha, I'm hoping some of the weekly faithfuls are going to be moving to Moblox. My brother's a great example. I said he moved to Moblox. He's like, well, okay, you mean my brother, but I've been on Vodafone 20 years. So what you paying? 25 quid a month. Why are you paying that much data? I'm a heavy user. How much do you use? Looks at it. He uses 6 gig. We can use our 10 gig plan or 15. If you pay 12 months up front, it's costing 10, 12, 11 quid a month. He's moved. He's basically halved his bill. And when we start adding phones to this, you're going to save hundreds of pounds. So Natasha, please, and what we actually want is why I'm being slightly quiet about it and only telling you, we want people to sign up, have a go, and give us some feedback, because we're building services based on what you want and feedback, not what we think you want. That's the key to it. Well, let's do some questions. That's what I'm here for. So again, please keep the questions coming. I can see a few here, but I haven't got enough to keep going for an hour. So please fire them in. So let's go to Jeepers Golf Journey. I hope I said that right. Hi, Piers. What are your advice for a brainstorming session relating to coming up with a business idea? Oh, I actually did this with Moblox. So 2 years ago, it's just pre-pandemic, actually, it kicked in properly. I was thinking about, what should I do next? I was sort of, I was on the board of British Business Bank, and I was doing various things, involving a couple of businesses. We just started Atherton Bikes. And I sort of thought, what do I do? And I actually went through a process, actually. And I looked at different markets, and had to be markets that interested me. I think as I've got older, I've realized I want to do things that I enjoy, I'm interested in, and ideally with people that I want to work with. That's the key thing. So, if you're going to spend 18 hours a day, sometimes, 6 days, 7 days a week, working on your business at times, not always, that's not a good plan. You need to have something. You often hear the word passion. You always need complete passion. We need to be interested in it at least. So I looked at wellness. And I went to events and I talked to people, and it wasn't. You had to have a real passion for making, some yoga and mushrooms or something, and it wasn't really for me. And the whole fitness thing had kind of been done really. So I was looking at, well, where can I find this? I mean, this is not for everybody. I wanted a very, very large market that had not been disrupted yet, almost like the banking sector, that kind of scale. And not everyone needs to look for something that big. It can be something that just, that you want to do on your own, and gives you the lifestyle you aspire to. But I kind of wanted to go big. So I looked at my experience, what interests me, what sectors are there out there, what hasn't been done. And that's where I started. I did Moblox. The idea originally was creating the Starling, the Revolut, the Tide, the Monzo of mobile, essentially. But it moved into something much bigger than that, because small businesses don't embrace technology as much as they should do. So they're not being successful as they could be. And that's what I did. So to answer your question, this can be quite a long process. And you may find sometimes that you almost need to start the business with an MVP, a minimum viable product, a prototype, a test service, whatever you want to call it, to work out whether it's got legs or not. And in that process, you may often find other opportunities, other avenues where you can create value that you go down. But I would start with, I used to do at university mind maps, like to draw these things on a piece of paper. And somewhere I've got an A1 piece of paper with a kind of original Moblox model on it. This can be what these call, the back of an envelope. But, draw what interests you, what skill sets you have, what networks you have, where you can see the value be created. Well, where's the world going? How far are you looking out 3 years? You're looking at 10, 20 years. How long do you want to do this for? You don't know the answer to these questions. These are the unknown unknowns of the Donald Rumsfeld parlance in terms of building a business. But think about it, write it down, and then do some research. I do send some investors this sometimes, they can't sleep, a 70-page research document slash business plan about Moblox, just to make sure that I wasn't kidding myself. Entrepreneurs can do. You can be quite blinkered sometimes and overly optimistic about opportunities. So do your research. Cannot stress that enough. It's one of the first things to say in my course, which you're going to get when you sign up to Moblox, is do your research and then start making decisions based on that. Once you're there, write it down, a simple plan. It doesn't have to be complicated. And then go and talk to people. Get out of your lab. Don't sit in your flat, your house, thinking you know everything. Get out and talk to people that know more about the opportunity than you do. They may not be executing the way you want it to, but they know something about the opportunity. And that's what I did in Moblox as well. I went to talk to, people on the boards of large telcos, people in business services, and my chairman, actually, Martin, who was on the board of Telefonica O2, he joined as my chairman after reading that document. So get out there. So work out what interests you. Look at several opportunities you think it might interest you. Do your research, talk to people, get the feedback, and then take it a little distance down the road of maybe trying one of them and to see if it's got legs. Just prod it and see if it gives. If it doesn't, go back to the drawing board and pick another one. But that can be quite a process, and it can be quite it can take some time. But people are always they're always trying to start the business. And this is the business that's going to make me, or it's going to give me the life I aspire to. Doesn't always work like that. I was just chatting to a founder. She was a freelancer, a creative freelancer in marketing, and she was, had a business, went solo, had a client. COVID, sort of killed that business, and she created a publication which we actually advertised, doing some advertising in, and she's now got a magazine, essentially, physical and digital. But she didn't start there. That's where she ended up through that process. Right, what else we got? Graham Birkenhead. Moblox has some great info. I'm just going to put that up there, and I'm just going to leave that there for a moment. Thank you very much. It does. We're going through the stats of Richard and Sophia, who run the content in the community, and our content. We haven't put a lot of money behind it. We're not pushing it in terms of digital marketing. It's kind of there, and we do these things on social media, and we're getting fantastic stats and metrics in terms of the rate at which people come back, their dwell times, how many articles they read. So we see real value in what we're doing, and that's what it's about. So thank you for that. I'm still going to leave that there for a bit longer, actually. Right. Laura. See if that fits in. Might not. I recruit Laura J. Kelly. Hello, Laura. Thank you for joining. I recruit for social care. Yeah, it's a growing business if there ever was one. With the the population's getting older as well. I'm self-employed, and more people are leaving the sector. I actually know people who have left that sector actually for various reasons. I think COVID, in many cases, was the last straw for a lot of them, especially at carer level, the bread and butter, and much needed by so many other care companies I work with. Do you think the government will ever acknowledge? I'm going to have to read it here because I can't see it there. Do you think the government will ever acknowledge the role and importance social care plays in an overspill for the NHS? Oh, flipping it, that's a big question. Yeah, it's getting slightly political actually. So my mum was a nurse in the NHS. So I grew up. She was a nurse, then she was a health visitor. So it was quite social care, but I grew up with an understanding of that. I know people that work in social care. I know carers actually. They were carers, but as you just said there, they've left. So one of the issues is that is probably one of the fastest. Well, it's very fast growing because we've got an aging population, but people aren't paid enough. Caring for an elderly or an infirm or disabled fellow human being is a very important job. Sadly, the markets don't seem to value it as much as they should do. So for the amount of work you have to do, the amount of commitments, it can be quite stressful at times, those jobs. It can be hard work. It can be unsocial hours. People aren't getting paid enough, and people, especially COVID, accelerated this. People are making decisions now about what it is they want to spend their lives doing, and increasingly, working that hard for that kind of money isn't one of them. How we correct that in terms of bridging that gap, I don't know, but it's probably going to need at some point as demand goes up in terms of population, the demand for these services, and supply isn't going up. Dare I mention Brexit? That hasn't helped, has it? Because a lot of people that used to work in care no longer can that easily, at least. So as that supply demand begins to sort of diverge, someone somewhere is going to have to step in and do something about it, and it may require some regulation, some incentive, some tax incentive, or some kind of benefit, whatever it might be, to ensure that the people that need the care continue to get it. But that's a good point, well made. Here we go. Tasha, I'll just be changing my O2. My 2-year contract has gone up like 10. Yeah. And these contracts as well, they go up with inflation. We're not doing that for 2 years. Um, and also, why should you be in a 2-year contract? Ridiculous. We just do monthly contracts. We don't like our service. We're not doing what we said we're going to do. You can go. We don't want you to, clearly, but if it's not good enough, we need to do something about it. You should be telling us that. So please do. Right. I need some more questions, actually. Let's have a look. What have we got here? Scrolling down, scrolling down. Back to Laura J. Kelly here. Yeah, so following from Laura's question there, as I guess I'm also wondering how to branch out where you could take my business. So it's quite hard to do, isn't it? I mean, I'm involved in a number of organisations where I'm an advisor trying to look ahead. So you've got to demand for social care is only going to increase. There's no doubt about that. Um, so if you have, where is the problem? That's one of the issues you may find. So if the problem is not so much the delivery of the care itself, perhaps it's as your business was, it's the delivery of the people. So can you crack that in the short term or long term? Now the point is that you've got to think slightly further ahead in that, and who knows how long this is going to be. You can't sit around your whole life waiting for the government or someone to bring in some regulation or a new benefit, because that might never happen. Or even if they want it to happen, it could take years. So you've got to think about, what resources do you have, what insights do you have, and how can you apply those to add value. Now, the point is often is that if you really do believe that demand will rise and supply is going to be restricted, the price almost goes up. So that's the interesting thing, is that's economics. So the gap is going to get bigger. And at some point, as that gap begins to expand, you may get, government regulation works in. You may find they've got to change the rules. This is where I think it's going to go. They're going to have to change the rules in terms of people being able to work in the UK. I don't think in the long run are the rules we have in place now in terms of people. I'm on about migration now. What's working in the UK are going to have to change, because the supply of certain labour in the UK has rapidly dried up because people can't work anymore, or they don't want to. So you may see that something gives in that sort of what's the word I'm looking for here? My mind's gone blank. In that sort of economic model, that formula, something gives, which again opens up the opportunity. The question is do you want to hang on for that? And also, can you as well? And can you be the person that finds a way to unlock that supply side, that supply chain of talent and people that makes it work? Or can you move? Let's think outside the box, right? Can you move up the sort of food chains, of one word, but can you move up in the market in terms of delivering social care services to people who can afford it or have the money to, which might be a different market, different marketing, a different kind of service, different kind of you've been marketing in different places. But there are lots of people who have, infirm, disabled, elderly parents, family, whatever it might be, that have the money to afford it. You don't have to rely on people that are struggling to some extent, or in case more and more as the cost of living rises, or where people they're relying on some kind of government support, which may or may not continue, or may not improve over time. So think about where the opportunities are, in the short term and the longer run, and try and apply your resource, your expertise to monetize them. I'm an expert in social care, right? But that's what I'd be doing. Right, let's have a look. This could be a short one today. Um, so don't forget to follow us on social media. Here we go. Here's the chat. So hello to Adele. Is it Houghton again? As Andrew said hello as well. Joseph K said to you the benefits of joining. Natasha's talked about that. Yeah, so this is again, Natasha's asking the good questions every week. So again, this is what are your thoughts on hiring people from the EU? I've started to look into it, but there seems to be conflicting rules or content on it. So you still can. There's just more paperwork. You look on the news about the fruit. There's no fruit pickers. There are. Uh, they can be recruited. There's just rules and quotas and paper and red tape, and also increasingly people they're making decisions about, well, can I be bothered traveling work in the UK? Because they're impacted by the red tape as well. And I guess for those people as well, the cost of recruiting that talent and getting them here and keeping them here is also going up. So yes, you can. I mean, in Moblox, we have people working in the EU as well on the technical side. They're not so much employees; they're more contractors as well. Now, often they don't physically need to be here. It's just changed things quite dramatically. Very different if someone physically needs to move and live in the UK. So you can do it. There is conflicting content. Best place sometimes to start with, that can be quite dry, but the government websites or some of the people that actually their businesses completing that paperwork for you and going looking at their websites and their content. So I won't put off by it. You can, but the issue increasingly though is what do we do about it? What if we find that there just is not sufficient supply of people in the UK that are willing to do the jobs that need doing? Um, what do we do about it? And if there is a supply of those people in other countries, other nearby countries, then we're going to have to sort of find a way, I think, of slightly rewriting Brexit and opening up the doors or making it easier for them to come here. 'Cause otherwise, we'll just cut. My dad used to always say, "We're just cutting off your nose to spite your face." The UK economy is going to find itself in a bit of a hole. So that's something that I think is going to need to be fixed. Okay, let's have a look. Right, unless you give me some more questions, I am going to crack on with my day, and we shall come back again, same place, same time, next week. No. Let's look at some more Moblox content here. So this is our sales section here as well. So this is what I want you to do is go and have a look around, get into the community, tell us a bit about yourself. We've got a channel in our community which is about it's a thread about introduce yourself, and then I'll get back to you as well, and go and look at some of our content and provide some feedback. How can you retain customers? How can you increase sales by lead nurturing? So one of the things that people often forget, and some of the content we've been focusing on, is acquiring customers is one thing, retaining them is something else. And as the world gets harder, things get more difficult. Inflation's rising, costs are going up. Acquiring customers can become harder. Depends what you do, how you do it. Keeping the ones you've got can be hard as well, depending how they're impacted as well. But that's normally easier than acquiring new customers. So you're gonna look at some of our content and just think about how do I keep the customers that I've got, even if they are struggling, even if their energy bills are going through the roof? How do you build a stronger relationship? And another one we did as well is about raising finance. If you can see, for example, talking to Laura earlier, that she sees an opportunity, or well, two things actually. You might see you need to bridge a gap in finance, or you might see you need an opportunity to grow your business, even in difficult markets. You may need finance for that. You may need grants for that. Now, in what Laura's doing in terms of social care, if you're innovative in social care, and then you're going to find you can raise finance potentially through grants, but also through potentially angel investors as well. And again, going back to earlier, again, this is our sort of sales section on our website. This is about market research. So we said earlier about, when you're doing your research, do your research. People forget this. Often entrepreneurs, people, even with existing businesses, they want to grow them. I've done it. I'm guilty of it myself. You think you know best. You think that, I know about this sector. I've been in this market for years. I think we should do this. You might be right, but you could be wrong. So the key is to do your research, talk to people, talk to customers, talk to people who are sort of tangentially involved to understand what you do actually, or even people who are in similar markets with similar dynamics that aren't quite the same as yours. Talk to them and soak it up, and you may find that actually changes your plan slightly and can save you a huge amount of time, effort, and energy as well. So that's the website. Go and have a look around there. Any more questions, or are we done? Yeah, I'm not doing hi little Jamaica. I'm not doing Instagram live. It's just a pain. It's just a distraction. It's always faffing around with the screen. So I may try it again. But ideally, you'd be able to integrate it into here, which there may be a hack that makes that happen. So I will try that. But Instagram live is a bit of a pain in the backside, to be honest with you. This is on LinkedIn, it's on YouTube, it's on Twitter even. It's on Facebook as well. So it's in all those different places. And also the thing about LinkedIn, Instagram, sorry, is that when you're showing things on screen, you can't see them. So when I'm talking to the about, look at this, can you see that? The answer is no, which can be quite frustrating. So hello, little Jamaica again. Thank you for joining. I still haven't got up to your flipping kitchen. Um, but if that is it for today, that is it for today. Yeah, we'll call it a day. So again, follow Moblox. Please sign up. Please go and have a look at our new mobile site and have a look at the services there. We want some feedback as well. Have a read of our content. That'd be fantastic. And sign up. Again, you get access to our course, get access to our content, which you won't always get access unless you sign up. And please do enter Pitch to Peers, 10 grand, and follow us on social media. I'm going to crack on and do some more work on our mobile landing page. We are still waiting for your visit. I am going to, yeah, I do need to get up there in a little Jamaica. Maybe the weekend, depends. I might go and see my mum, pick my mum up. So if mum's here, she might come as well. So we shall see. But for now, same time, same place next week. I'll see you then. Thanks so much for joining.